Wednesday, August 20th, 2025, 3 p.m. And note that all members are present. First item on our agenda is, are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion we approve.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Next item, approval of the July minutes. Any corrections or further discussion?
I have the one correction. I have the date wrong. On that second page, our next meeting is September. I put August 20th, which is actually today. It is not.
17.
Is it September 17th? Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anything else?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as correct.
You second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? No. Motion carried. Introduction to the 2026 budget and capital improvement plan. Corby Thompson just arrived.
Yes.
I
Perfect time.
Okay.
Perfect.
I was on the phone out there. I was like, those guys that just can't seem to end the conversations.
Yeah.
So, welcome, Corby.
Well, thank you. I have some handouts.
Thank you.
How many I've got here? Hopefully at least one for everybody. Yes, just enough. Okay.
I was gonna say, I
Take
still,
one, pass one.
I have it.
You have one?
I have a copy of
Yeah,
the.
And then I have one other handout. I know this one's really small, but I don't have any choice on this one.
Was that the one you did?
Yes.
I was gonna say,
I read anyway,
yeah, I explained, we try very hard
to make it so that we don't.
Yeah. and go
In
by
other
what,
words, get rid of all the old stuff.
I was getting ready to say, go by what Corby is handing you out, not what
Okay.
I,
Oh,
Okay.
it should be the same, but just follow what he's giving you.
well,
To
do you
make
want
it-
us just to look at this or what?
Yeah,
Look.
just look at what Corby's giving you.
Right.
Well,
He said.
Did you already?
Yeah,
Let's be sure we got the right.
This is stale.
So
We got the blue-
that
all blue
We had
one.
one.
yeah, the all blue one we'll look at second. That packet's what we're gonna look at first. Yes, but those are the only two
Yeah.
things.
And this one
I have a blue
is,
somewhere.
That's the budget summary, and I've got more details and information in there.
Yeah, okay. I'm not finding
There you
it,
go.
Sissy.
I would say
if you wanna
it's the
make
same.
any,
If you sent them or printed the ones that I sent you,
Yes,
it's the same information. I just blew it up because I was looking through my notes last year, and
Yeah. we
It
did
said
say
make
that a couple
bigger.
times.
Yeah.
so I made it I tried to make it as big as I can,
yeah,
while also trying to keep all
it's
the
just,
information on
yeah,
Yeah, not lose it when you spend it.
there. Mhm.
right. So again, it should be the same information, just go from what he gave you. That way
Yes.
there's no confusions anywhere.
do you have anything you wanna,
Point out or tell us about here.
anything to start, or we'll just let Corby
No, I
begin?
think, yeah, I think
So-
Corby can. cover
Yeah,
this.
I'll give just like a update in general as far as the budgeting goes. So I mean, the budget process is essentially still the same as it's been. As far as budgeting, there's just a new piece now, and that's this capital improvement plan.
Mhm.
Right, so there's that new requirement that everybody has to pass a capital improvement plan, has to be done and adopted, I believe, before the end of September. We have to provide the county a copy of that. We don't need to present it or anything, we just simply need to get the county copy. There's been a lot of discussion on what do we need to notice in order to have this public hearing. And I can tell you that just from more conversations I've had with other townships, most, if not all of them, are just getting it in the paper like it's any other public hearing. Because I think at one point they were saying you didn't need to notice anything. Well, everybody just kind of coming back and saying, well, if it's a public hearing, we should probably still do the standard public hearing.
On this,
Even
I
though
strongly agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even
I-
though
I
that
agree.
there was guidance that at one point said you didn't need to do it. so.
I did print off a template, ITA sent out.
Yes, and I think that was the one
Yeah.
that tipped everybody off, be like, well, let's just go ahead and get it
Right.
published. It's not hard to do.
Right.
But-
So I do have that in my notes.
Okay, all right, perfect.
Good deal.
So, and the reason, right, why this is all important is because that's how they're calculating this new 30% of unrestricted funds transfer. So you may have heard that. That is the infrastructure road fund that the townships are required to set up, which we can do that at some point. But based on the capital improvement plan, which we'll go over here shortly, but based on what we have in there, we won't actually need to make any transfers to that fund. But that's what they're looking at, is that there's a 30% required transfer of any quote unrestricted remaining cash balances at year end.
So unrestricted means you don't really have it in a line item, you don't have it. But
Yes.
You may spend it.
So the way that they've defined it is that it's any funds that don't have essentially a special purpose to the township. So those funds that don't have these special purposes. And then it's, 30% of anything that is not being appropriated or doesn't have some kind of capital attachment, dedication to in the future. So anything that isn't either being used up by the current budget or future for the capital items in our plan, 30% of whatever's left, that's what has to be transferred.
And if you don't get it, do we have a time period, like say on our project, that we have to have that spent? Is it a 2-year, 3-year, 1 year?
The state statute requires that you have a minimum of 3-year capital improvement plan. It does not specify that you act on anything in the capital improvement plan. It doesn't say that you will be held to do anything in the capital improvement plan. I don't know.
We do have to do a capital improvement plan every year.
Yes,
makes
you
sense.
do have to do it every year. So I think the
Yeah.
theory would be is if, somebody wanted to come and ask questions, they'd say, hey, you've just been pushing this down the line. It would happen at a public hearing, or somebody may raise a question like that.
Yeah, I think the projects could change as time goes, but
Yes.
we'll redo that in our meeting.
Right, so,
Correct.
and if we do it every year,
Mhm.
then that would be the time to say, okay, this project isn't going anywhere.
You know, take that
Let's look at this again.
Mhm.
And I did get a little more clarification, I thought you and I talked about it, but our general fund and rainy day fund are the two that are subject to transfers.
I wondered.
Correct. So
Yeah,
township assistance seems that the guidance out there that I've been seeing is they're considering that essentially a special purpose fund.
right,
And talking with other townships and folks I work with, the same story for your fire funds, right? Those are for specifically payments for you guys, your fire contract to the city.
Mhm.
If you have which you do have a park fund. So that, right?
Mhm.
Those are, they're restricted for payments to the park. Right? They're restricted by the purpose in which the funds were originally raised. So they really only consider that, in my experience, the only funds I'm seeing that are being considered unrestricted, so there might be others out there, but are in general, the townships I'm working with are general and rainy day. Because there is,
yeah.
right, because the theory is that you can really spend those for any purpose.
And then this can be new information. It doesn't have to be things that we brought forward as far as restricted funds. We can add anything new that we have.
You're like funds in the future, or correct? Yeah, I mean, we're going to go through this process every year, so we're going to know exactly where we're at on an annual basis.
Like next year at this time.
Right, exactly. We'll be going through this process again, and it will be updated.
But they didn't at least restrict us to existing projects or existing
No.
funds.
Right now, the way it's set up is the requirements are
We can add-
you have a plan and you approve the plan. You notice for the plan, right? Public hearing, get it over the county. That's it. That's the guidance.
Yeah.
It's just you have to
They
do
don't want
one.
you sitting on it without that.
That
Right.
part could have been.
Right. There's
Very
yeah.
Where it
there-
should go or something
yeah.
that could be.
Very
There's no, like I said, there's no, as it sits right now, there's no repercussion or penalty or anything that says, hey, you had this in your plan and you didn't do that.
Or
Because that's always gonna
freeze
Yeah, yeah.
our
I-
plan, and
right.
then you can't add anything. I mean,
Right.
There could have been a
right.
whole
There's
lot
nothing, right.
more.
There's nothing of that.
Right.
added at that stage. It could have really tied our hands.
So don't give them
That's right. Yeah.
That'll be coming,
That's
Yeah.
really,
as they have more time.
So
that'll
that
be coming.
So as a budgeting process as a whole, that's kind of just a new separate piece. But when it comes to your operations and everything that we've done in the past, it's the same.
It's the same.
Yeah, it's the same. So I'll go ahead and we can take a look at the little packet you have, and then I'll run through the capital improvements and the plan in general there. But the budget summary, again, just so you guys, as a refresher, this is the 18-month rolling budget. This is how the DLGF looks at your budget. They look at your existing budget, assume that you're going to spend your entire 2025 budget plus your entire 2026 budget, and as long as you can afford it, they'll approve your budget. Column L on this summary sheet you have in front of you, that's where you see your quote 12/31/2026 calculated cash. So you've got your funds, general, township assistance, the rec fund, and rainy day. At the end of 26, you can see where those cash balances are. Therefore, none of those are negative. DLGF should approve all of the budgets we have here. The other thing I want to mention is the revenues. So last year we had a levy of about $275,000. We're looking to essentially have the same levy figure for next year, so the $275,000. We could levy even more if that's what we need to do, but based on the current cash flows, appropriations, and capital improvement plan we have right now, we don't necessarily have to max out your property tax levy. Now you can do that, but what we
Is that a wise idea though to do that?
it
Given
so what I'll
these
say
restraints.
is historically I would say yes, it's a must. But the reason was because if you didn't
Right.
get it, you lost
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
That you reset your max levy. That's not the case anymore.
Mhm.
They keep kind of a running tally of whatever your max levy is. So for 2026, my estimated max levy for you is you could go up to about maybe $309,000 in levy. Again, we're only going for 275, and that's again just based on the cash flows. Trying to make sure that we're not transferring anything this year until we figure out, really what our, big picture plan is here. And so that's why I've left it the 275. I said that's what we had last year. There's a lot of uncertainty as far as even what's going to happen with assessed values.
Mhm.
It should be pretty similar. Well, Noblesville Township will probably grow next year, even with a little bit higher of a reduction in the.
Well,
For
when
the
they give
homestead
them back
deduction.
300, it's still not gonna affect it because they got other sources. The city now can put extra tax. I mean, they got,
Mhm.
the homeowner's not gonna come out ahead on this.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, this is something where, as far as what you guys can control in your tax rate, this would be a way that you guys are managing yours, and it would likely decrease if you by keeping that same levy for next year. But again, most homeowners will probably still see some kind of increase in their property taxes. Not as a result of you guys, but either because an overlapping unit increased their rates or their assessed value went up. That's
Or both.
typically what we see. Yeah, or both.
Yeah.
So that's all I had to mention on the revenues. You have your local income taxes as well that are out there. I didn't mention anything about the fire levy. Same with the civil levies. I'm just going for the same exact levy that you had last year. So everything I just said also applies to those that are in your fire district there. Any questions on revenues? Because after this, I'm just going to jump into the appropriations. which again is where we have the most control as far as what we're spending the revenues on. So the next 2 pages are the Form 1s, and I tried to make them, should be, well,
Yeah.
okay.
I
okay,
was
I
just
got you.
marking
Yeah,
those,
yeah.
so I wouldn't make them.
Yeah. I tried to make this as big as I can while also keeping the information I want to keep on there.
She needs to turn her page. You need to go
This
back.
one.
No.
It might be,
Oh,
is it stapled?
Yeah.
This
It might be
staple
another,
one.
yeah, so yeah,
Okay,
turn the
here,
next
just go back
page.
Yeah.
one page.
It's on
Yeah.
budget form 1.
So again, these are your Form 1s for your various funds, and I'm just gonna go on through here and point out the major updates and highlights here. So for rainy day fund, last year we didn't have any budget. Because of these new requirements, we really want to utilize this money in a way that you guys as a board intend, as opposed to having somebody at the city or the county decide what roads are going to go and fix. So again, we've kind of proposed that there are going to be some significant improvements to this building next year, and most of that is proposed to be paid through the rainy day funds on hand. I also have included in the rainy day for next year kind of a contingency $203,000. And again, that's just to give you guys some kind of wiggle room if project costs go over, or if there's some kind of special need that kind of arises. We've never had that before. So again, just based on some of the new requirements, we want to show a use for it at this point. And so this is kind of an emergency. We used to take more of the approach of, hey, if we needed it, we'll do an additional appropriation. Well, now it's just better to go ahead and appropriate it if you can afford it.
Where did I see that?
These are very top of the page. Yes.
And I think as a reminder, these building renovations, any estimated cost is 1 million, high side 1.5. So we have the money there,
Yep.
as Corby said,
Yep.
in the rainy day fund to cover the renovation. So,
Yep. So we just want to
There's-
make sure that we have plenty for whatever you
Right.
need. And again,
Yeah.
same concept apply.
Most all in.
As well as, and I don't know if it was in their capital. Go ahead.
So anything in the that we have here as far as capital improvements go should also be in the capital improvement fund, but we'll circle back to that as well. So those would be the big updates for the rainy day fund, obviously, and that really what that's doing is that's expending every dollar you have in that fund. So that way, in the future, when we get to do the capital improvement plan, it's one less fund that we have to sit down and go through and figure out what money. I think that at one point in time, the rainy day fund had a really good purpose, but with the state that we're in of just technology, electronic payments and everything, it's not as necessary as it used to be. Because one thing it would guard against was, hey, if you don't get your property tax settlement in time, that doesn't really happen that often anymore.
Not
We have a
anymore.
big local income tax, right? Yeah, it still happens, but not very often.
During the reassessments and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't get them done.
Yeah, it doesn't, I've never had a late. I couldn't tell you the last time we had a late payment of any,
Yeah, because the way it
anything,
is,
yeah.
it's boosted up a certain percentage in neighborhoods and it's all done. They don't send all the guys out. We used to have to do that.
Right, yeah,
Makes it quicker and easier.
Yeah.
To raise them.
yeah, for sure.
So I'm going to move on to the general fund. So what I'll mention here is that in general, throughout this budget, we had a 5% cost of living adjustment to non-elected officials. So all of the staff, we have a 5% cost of living adjustment proposed in here. Just so you guys know, as a reference, the estimated cost of living adjustment, at least for Social Security purposes next year, around 2.6,
I was gonna say,
2.7%.
they're not giving us.
Right, and yeah, not quite 5, but just wanted to mention that for some reference. We do also have a 3% cost of living adjustment for elected officials, so trustee and you guys as a board. There's a new position for the summer intern. Again, I think we've already figured out a way to basically pay for that this year with some of the existing personal service appropriations we have. But just knowing we want to continue that in the future and just to make sure we don't run into a problem,
Right.
we're gonna go ahead and budget for it.
Yeah, it was more, this summer we had a college student who just basically had 5 weeks of time. And so she came in like 3 days away, part-time. It was like $1,000. So Corby and I discussed it and figured we could figure that out. But moving forward, to have money allocated there in case we would like some summer help. We're getting more and more. Next week, we've partnered with Ivy Tech, which is something new. We're going to have I think she's a psychology major from Ivy Tech as an intern. That will not be paid. That's part of her class time, but she'll be here 3 days a week until October. So we're getting more and more just requests for that kind of thing. So that's just a little more explanation of why we decided to put something there in case further down the road, we may not necessarily use it, but it's there if we actually have an actual summer help person, we'll have the money there for it. So.
Yeah, and that's essentially what the figure we have in there is $18 an hour, 40 hours a week for 4 months.
That's kind of good.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I don't know that typically summer help isn't full-time. It's just more, it's there if.
I mean, you can even have two.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
However
Yeah.
you want to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That
just,
was just the thought.
yeah, that was the
Yeah.
thought behind it. Yes, that's why we came up with that number. It was just, again, kind of going on that high side so that we are covered.
Employee benefits. So just as a whole here, they're mostly just calculations based on some of the wage figures we have in here. Now we did increase the insurance premiums by 10% just because it's hard just to know what's going to happen there. Seems like it's 10% a year forever. So,
It does. I pay so much, and I've looked at everything. I wish there was something, but it's what I don't know. Yeah.
So several of the supply lines we just had slight adjustments to. Some of the percentages look large, but it's really just $1,000 here, $1,000 there, especially if we're going to do some building renovations and those kinds of things. Just want to make sure we have a little bit extra in there.
The stationery in office, like that kind of looks like a big increase, but honestly, we're so much busier that we're running through paper like crazy and envelopes like crazy. So a lot of that has just increased with our township assistants. So that may seem big, but like Corby said, it's
only
$1,000, but that's why it's also a little bit 11%.
Yeah.
It's because we are increased in our office supplies.
For professional services, we increased that by about $20,000. And the reason I did that is I'm sure there might be some engineering work for the renovation. I don't know this for sure, but just in case there are, we want to make sure we covered for that. With all of this new legislation and you may have to reach out to your attorney and us on more than you previously did.
Yeah.
So again, that's one of the main reasons that we've increased that line item there. Community services, this is for an additional scholarship and tutoring. Go ahead.
The tutoring program, was that in the capital improvement, or we just put it here, I think?
We just put it here.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That was one of the items, the last meeting I gave you guys that project sheet, but Noblesville Schools 2 years ago no longer fund the tutoring program that they have. So they've reached out and asked for sponsors to basically step up and see if they can fund it. This all comes at a time when third graders have to pass iRead or they don't pass third grade. So that tutoring program starts with second graders into third graders. Adrienne Young, she's head of the Noblesville School Scholarship Foundation program. She reached out, her and I were talking, and she just said for the 26 school year, so not this year, but next fall, they might need somebody to step up and sponsor that tutoring program again. I think it was roughly 27,000 or 35,000. I'd have to look at my paperwork again, but that's why we've increased that community service right there. Is if it is something we would like to sponsor, the money is then there for it. So that's just another.
And some of these items we've increased, right? We just talked about how we needed to come up with, all of these capital improvements in order to make sure that you guys as a board still have control over the funds that you guys have raised. This is somewhat similar in this situation where, hey, we're giving you guys the opportunity to spend the money for something like this scholarship or some kind of tutoring service. Doesn't mean you have to do it, but nonetheless, we need to show that, this is money that, you guys at least have available and can use if that's how you best want to use the money. So some of it was coming up with some capital improvements that are more of wish list items, but nonetheless, you have the ability to do those wish list items. That's kind of what some of these increases in the budget are as well, is hey, I want you guys to be able to go and do these things. I think the money is much better spent, especially considering you guys raised it. That it's a better use of the township's funds than having somebody else decide what roads are going.
Right, totally.
So,
And then, just real quick, the additional scholarship, I'm not sure if I told you guys this, but Adrienne said 40 people applied for our scholarships, and we give out 3. I actually did separate the money a little bit differently, and we added a 4th student this year. So when I was talking with Corby, I said maybe going forward we could just add a 4th one and make the money all even for each scholarship. I just kind of divided it out a little bit differently for those students, but 40 kids applied, which is a lot. So just another consideration, like Corby said, for next round, if that's something you would like to do, the money would be there for that then.
Moving on, you can see there's several other adjustments to services. Like, for example, some of them are just increased based on spending, current spending, kind of what we're seeing there. In particular, I think travel expense, telephone, right? Those are kind of just spent based on some spending we're seeing right now. We just need to up those. Printing and advertising.
What is that trouble?
That's usually for mileage for basically anybody. Like Mike delivers the checks to the apartments, so he'll keep his mileage. There's just been, like, if they go pick up food from Harvest Food Bank, which is now located in Cicero.
Yeah.
So they're going to Cicero. So it's just stuff like that. And they usually keep it and turn it in. Mike, I think, turns his in every 3 months. Carly just turned one in. I don't think she's turned one in all year. Not huge amounts of money, but over 3 or 6 months, it's about $200. We do a lot of, sometimes I send Mike out. I was just getting ready to send him out on a guy who came in. He's living in a trailer and had a $600 electric bill. I'm like, yeah, there's something going on there.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So I was going to send Mike out on that. Actually, Christmas in Action stepped in, went out, looked at it, gave us a report, but it's also investigative. Every now and then we send out for investigation. But yeah, that's typically what that's used for. Now I don't travel anywhere, unfortunately.
Because I don't know if anybody
I
ever
thought
goes
your
to.
travel expense was part of it.
No.
Any conferences that people could go to?
Well, you know
Maybe
what?
you have another one. I'm sure they might have another one.
I was gonna say it used to be, but now they're out at Hamilton Town Center, so
Not
I
very far.
can't,
Yeah.
I can't,
Yeah.
and I don't even turn in mileage. I don't
On
even-
weekends too, and I've never turned it in while you went to the conferences and
Yeah.
stuff.
I've never, I think the one thing I did is when I went to the State House and I turned in, my parking because it was like $50 for the day.
Yeah.
So I
Easy.
turned that in and it was 2 days. I didn't even turn in the second day because the whole thing screwed up and I was just like, forget it. And I lost my receipt and my ticket. And so I only got 1 day out of that.
That me-
So-
and no, if you go to the dentist in the garage and you lose your ticket, it's $50 to get out.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's what happened.
Somewhere there was discussion about perhaps since we're talking about mileage, a van or something that we could use. Did that get put in
Yes,
there?
that did get put in.
Yes, I believe that is, yes, township vehicle acquisition, and we've got a note specifically on what car we targeted.
Yes,
So,
we did.
Yeah. yeah.
Corby Googled for just an estimated,
Was it Equinox?
I think it was a Traverse.
Yeah.
I actually briefly spoke to Todd Thurston out at Header Chevrolet and just asked him if it was something he could help us on. If potentially down the road it was something we could do. And so he suggested a Traverse. He's just worked with St. Vincent de Paul in getting them some vehicles. So again, it was a very brief conversation, but I kind of took
Put your
that. We
ballpark.
Googled and so that could obviously change up a bit, but we did put that in there, yeah.
Well, just to expand on that a little bit, everybody wants a car, you know, but this really does have some good use
Oh,
and.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah, it would,
Yeah. Pick up
It-
Hauling food
Yeah.
and different things that now people put in their cars, and I think it has
it would,
merit.
Yeah, I do too.
and it would definitely help. Mike's the one that does the main driving, so just the wear and tear on his car,
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
it
not-
would help
Do
with
you guys
that.
ever pick up cars? Or, I mean,
We've
I don't know
tried,
if they do that,
Or
but
moving.
yeah.
we've tried to stop doing that.
Yeah.
We got into it, last year, we were doing it a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. And so we've really tried to back off. But in some situations, we are running into, we first reach out to the police department, we reach out to Dennis, our EMT, and our Sergeant Luger of Noble Act. We reach out to them first.
Mhm.
If they can't, and we're just really, really stuck, then we might transport somebody, but it's gotta be local.
Yeah.
We've done quite a few bus tickets to Indy and we're not gonna get into going to the bus station in Indianapolis. Mike did take a guy to Indy one time. He's a veteran. And we were going down there, or he was for a workshop, work fair kind of thing, a VA. He needed more resources. So that was about the only time, but we're trying very hard to back off of transportation.
No, I
Yeah.
get that. I just,
A lot of it.
Yeah.
I feel like I would feel, I don't know how anybody would feel, but I would feel better if it was a company car, you know, just
Oh, for
another,
sure.
you know,
And-
but.
Yeah, which is why we
yeah.
started backing off, is because we were hauling people in our own cars, and I'm like, we don't have insurance to cover this,
Right, yeah.
and so that's when we started tossing around these company vehicle ideas.
You're talking about.
I have talked about it, yeah. So, but yes, we would all feel a little bit better if we weren't in our car and we had proper insurance to cover it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, picking up food too.
oh yeah,
That
food.
Traverse got pretty.
Bunch of truck space.
got
Yeah.
plenty of space
Yeah.
back there.
Yeah, and even on Saturdays, Beverly's picked up food.
I used to pick up food.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
me. Yeah, she just did it for the meeting the need.
Bedley Park fired me.
No, it's not that much, so I just put it in my flex.
Yours.
Yeah, a lot of us, honestly, Beverly never turns in mileage. Shauna never turns it in.
Yeah. Maybe I will start since you give me some budget.
What's the state's reimbursement rate's different than the federal one? isn't it?
49 cents.
Yeah.
Yes, it's actually very irritating
Yeah,
because the federal
yeah.
is like, what, 70?
Is it 70 now?
It's high.
Yeah.
I think I was
Yeah,
just
it might
looking
be,
at
The
it.
state's
yeah.
always been like that.
Yeah, and ours is 49 cents.
Yeah, do make sure you document what the mileage is when you start, what it is when you get
Yeah.
back, what you did. Our office got in trouble years ago. They didn't think it was, and they
Oh,
denied
Right.
it.
No, we have no. We're very detailed. We have a whole form and they fill
Well,
out
see,
where they
back then,
go, where
we
they
did- yeah.
started, yeah. Yeah, we're
And that's
very-
what Mr. Mike has a form to follow, like, starting
Mhm.
and then end, and then there is odometer like that.
That's
That's
what
why I
do.
don't do it. Like I always forgot because I live in here. I took a picture on it and then I just took off and then from one apartment to another and then second apartment. And then by the time I go home, it's like I didn't do it. Oh yeah, I have to take it. So I already go somewhere else, grocery and everything.
Mhm.
I don't want to add. So
Yeah,
I
you don't
forgot
want
to take a
that on it,
picture.
yeah.
Sometimes I just use Google Maps just to see how far it says it is.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I see. Mr. Mike said I will give you a notebook because sometimes I will deliver
Yes,
pretty
that's
much
a
now
good
every
idea.
Friday because he's
Yeah.
gone. So then I will do a Friday and I will take a
Yeah, I
picture.
was gonna say, you.
and I don't- That's like I forgot.
You should keep your mileage because
I know.
you have
Yeah.
been taking checks on Friday.
Yeah.
And we make the circle, like it's
I know it's not that.
32 Union, Lions Creek,
Yeah.
River's Edge, like we're dividing them
Yeah.
all up.
It's a circle.
Anyway,
By the time it's 2 o'clock and by the time I get done, it's 3 o'clock.
yeah.
Last Friday I did that because with all the traffic in 38,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I
You
started
did
the
good.
traffic.
Horrible.
I was just like, I thought I'd be done working at 2.
Nope.
Well, that's very good.
I was gonna say, did that answer your question?
Yeah. Got all the details now.
You got all the details of what we do.
I need more of that budget.
Yeah.
Well, we can always.
Yeah, if we need to, we haven't published anything, so yeah, if we need
Yeah.
to, we can, but I think we could stick with the 3,000 now.
I was gonna say, I need to look. I know there's times when I'm kind of close and I'm like, ooh.
Well, here, let's just, I mean, again, we're looking to, I don't want to say just spend the money, right? We're looking to best use this money.
Right.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
all right, I'll bump that up 3,500, just make sure if Beverly starts turning her mind.
I was gonna
Seriously, I'm gonna start doing
I was
it.
gonna say, if she actually starts, although I've been telling her for 2 years, but if she actually starts doing it, then I might be able.
Well, Corby, you need to
Yeah.
come up with a, calculation based on hours and how much gas that is. So she knows how much time she spends. She just can't keep track of the mileage.
Yeah.
So there surely must be a formula there that we could help her out with
I
that.
don't think you can on time. but she's already getting
Google
paid.
Maps.
Yeah, and that's what
Well, she
I
come
do
up
is
with her
if I don't
mileage,
have
yeah,
my
put it-
exact odometer settings, which,
That's.
I do that.
required.
yeah, I do that most of the time, try
Yeah.
to at least, but a lot of times I forget,
No.
and I just do Google Maps. And I'll just, it's documented where I went.
Yeah.
I've
can
got the,
get on
you
your cell
can
phone
Google it
and follow
yourself
you.
to figure it out,
Yeah.
so.
Well, if I
Google.
remember to take pictures when I start and when I
Stop.
well, it doesn't matter about the stop, so then I can
We could do
Google
that.
it. But it's like to start, like I'm already halfway to River's Edge, and then I remembered. It's like, do I really need to?
Yeah.
Forget it. Then I would just say
Oh,
no.
go ahead, at least you got that.
So now, from
We'll figure that
I
out.
mean, let's just
I
say you
was
put
gonna say,
1,000
this is
miles in
why
the car, you're gonna get $500.
Can't you
I-
I always like I have like this the sheets I already like if I really do I have like at least 5 that filled out.
Yeah.
I could have at least
Turn it on.
200.
Yeah.
Yeah, it adds up money.
It does, yeah. Especially if
Okay.
All right, continuing on, repairs and maintenance, we had a $5,000 adjustment there. Again,
Right, yeah, right.
about halfway through the,
Yeah.
or bottom of the first page.
Okay. In the wrong, if I get in the right column, it will.
Yeah.
So we did increase the repairs and maintenance up to about $50,000. Again, that's for one, just anything up in until these big renovations occur, make sure that we've got enough appropriations there. So again, just some adjustment we saw there. If you want to go to the next page, again, we've got increased care for the cemeteries.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think you guys need to stay where you are.
Oh.
Yeah, go back. You wanna go back? He just went down.
Oh,
Yeah, 'cause
yeah,
it's
I
on
thought,
Yeah.
I might have here, I don't
Yeah.
have my print in front of
Go
me,
back.
so it might be
He's
a little bit different.
Yeah, he's just down to, there's repairs and maintenance, equipment rentals, and then care of cemeteries.
Yes.
So he was on care of cemeteries.
Yes, so
So
care of
stay.
cemeteries, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, stay on your.
Yeah.
Stay on your page. We are.
Them is different.
Yeah.
Oh, yours is
Yeah.
different,
Yeah.
okay.
We are in the second page.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're, okay, that's, see, I didn't
And
use Corby's
Okay.
form.
Yeah, see,
What?
yeah.
Oh,
See, I'm looking
yeah.
over here,
Yeah, I'm
but I
like-
have some notes over
I
here.
didn't even see, I didn't even get a copy of that one.
I know you did.
the bigger
I
one?
think so.
I
Yeah,
tried
I said
to-
your
It's
staple,
right, yeah, is it,
staple,
yeah, there you go.
there you go.
Oh,
Now.
So now you're in.
It's not
yeah,
much
but I've been
bigger.
calling.
I,
that stuff
hey,
stuff, so-
Well, you're right.
You know what?
Yes, yeah.
It's the same number. It's the
Yeah.
same number.
But I'm gonna go here, I have my notes over here.
Yeah, well, and when you said that, I was like,
Well,
oh no.
whichever one,
So
I mean,
sorry.
they're the same numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just a little bit
same
more.
numbers.
They're the same numbers, I just got
Yes.
rid of some of the columns, so I
Yeah.
tried to blow everything up a little bit.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's right. So care of cemeteries, again, we have funds available to continue to maintain the cemeteries the same way we have been, but, you know, if there's any other kind of repairs, whether it's tree removal or, you know, fixing up a fence or something at one of these, right, we're just putting a little bit extra in the budget as opposed to having some major capital renovation. Here's also some annual stuff we can put right in the budget.
We, still have mower and all that, the guy that mows and cleans it up and all that stuff,
Yeah, so Heartbeat Landscaping,
yeah.
he goes out and mows. And then actually, Green Vista takes care of Kaylor Cemetery. Heartbeat takes care of Beaver and Cherry Tree Cemetery. So
Then we picked that one up out there on,
last year I did a lot of tree cleanup, fence cleanup. Out at Kaylor, I had to do a lot of weed cleanup.
like,
So-
tell me where Kayla, I didn't know, I hadn't heard those names. before.
I would have to pull out the map. I don't even know if I could,
But out,
like,
What
it,
is that?
it's out in the middle of nowhere. I could pull up the map for you.
another one on, that, when Tom was here, we put a lot of money in that cemetery, we did that tombstones.
Oh, yeah.
That could be
It's off
Yeah.
of, what's the road?
30, I thought it was 30.
No, it's out in the country, it's,
Yeah, that's
where, Stony Creek Farm.
Oh, it's on Stony
Yes.
Lane.
Yes,
Stony
Right where I
Lane.
used
out
to
that
live
way.
at 32.
Stony,
Yes.
you're right.
It's
That's
Stony
it.
Lane, because I
Yeah, we
lived up
picked that
right
one
on
up.
Stony
Yes.
Lane.
It's
I
right
have
out there.
gone by that and
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
yeah.
And
So
that's
Green,
behind Tyson's house.
yes.
Yeah.
Green Vista takes care of that.
I still haven't found one of them.
The last thing I'll mention on the general fund budget would just be the buildings line that we have now. We had about 50,000 for just kind of miscellaneous items and improvements we wanted around your various facilities. Well, next year we're gonna have that 50,000 plus another 500, well, we're gonna have $75,000 for basically anything you guys like, kind of miscellaneous improvements there. But then 500,000 specifically earmarked for the community center renovations.
Okay.
So that's a big chunk of
Yeah.
that. So
And again, that was a rough estimate. 500,000 is more on the high side, but again, it was, let's take the higher in case
I agree.
you run into whatever.
And you can,
Yes, exactly.
if we done that, then
That's right. And I'll mention that too, right? Anything that we have in this capital improvement plan or in these appropriations that you don't spend, it's just going right back to your bottom line for reappropriation next year or some other capital improvement. You know, you know, we're trying to work with the laws that we've been given here. But, so, yeah, I just want to mention that again, but, so yeah, that's a big increase as far as capital improvements to the general fund. Moving to township assistance, I'm going to just kind of talk about this budget as a whole. So some of those percentages, when you look at the line by line, look pretty big. But if you look at the budget as a whole, it's going up about 8.5% in comparison to the previous year's budget. So again, we're just trying to adjust for some increased needs because, and Trustee can mention or speak to this better than me, but I think last year we increased significantly some of the shelter lines, several of the lines. And I think that may be sufficient for this year as in 2025, but again, not knowing what's coming in 26, we're going to continue to up that just with a lot of the unknowns that we have right now.
I know, like Salvation Army is a little bit worried that they won't get their FEMA funds. They still have not received them yet. If that happens, anybody that we've typically referred to Joe with Salvation Army, we won't be able to refer anymore. So we could see an increase there. I know Good Samaritan was a little bit worried about getting the energy assistance program again. If we don't get that, that'll be
That's gonna
be a big hit to our office. So we were just kind of planning ahead. If a lot of that's federal money, if they don't get that federal money, then it's on us. And so we're kind of preparing for that. And again, if we don't use it, then it's still there. But just rather be prepared.
I think that's a smart idea.
And then the homeless, I think we increased the homeless lines. We're just seeing an increase. Like today, I think we had 5 or 6 people this afternoon. And actually Monday we had 6 people. So, I mean, this week, and those are all, some of them are new, some of them are repeaters, but that situation is not getting any better. And we don't anticipate it will. So, no. So we've kind of prepared for that. We have bought a couple of bus tickets, but honestly, that was like $56 to get back to Tennessee. So those aren't huge expenditures, but if we have the money to do that, we can, basically. So, and we also saw an increase in burials, which is why you kind of see that go up a little bit more. I don't know what's going on there, but we've had a lot of burials lately.
Well, if you got people that are poor,
Yeah.
they can't afford the burials.
Well, right. And last year I was a little bit concerned that I might go over. So I was like, oh, shoot. And we were okay. So I would, again, rather be prepared.
Just never know.
That one you really don't know.
Yeah, they don't make an appointment.
No,
That's right.
no, exactly. So that's why that one's
I know.
increased a little bit more.
Claiming at that one.
We've just seen a increase in burials. So.
Just a few other things to touch on. The fire contract, I've just left it the same as we had it last year. I think it actually went down for 2025, the contract amount. So I can't remember exactly what the final number was, but I've just left the same budget figure we had in there last year, as that should be able to cover any increase that we need there. Parks and Rec, I did increase the budget here, and I forgot to mention this when we were looking at the summary page and talking about the revenues. But I did allocate, so last maybe 3 or 4 years, we have had 0 revenue sources for the Park and Rec fund. Well, with it kind of being, quote, a restricted fund now, you know, it's a safer place to hold some of your cash reserves. So I've allocated some of your property tax levy just to start getting some revenue back into that fund. I've allocated $75,000 of your property tax levy to that fund. So again, that's just kind of been depleting over the last several years. This is a way to kind of let's just try to hold it steady, not necessarily maybe trying to like raise a bunch of money, but again, these are cash reserves that don't count towards our 30% required transfer floor. But again, we kind of see some increases to the appropriations as well there. That's really just based on, I think, some of the actual spending that we've had the last several years.
Yeah.
So I think there's just been more participants and more.
Well, it's growing.
Yeah, we could definitely run, like this year we backed off of some camps, just because we were being conservative on money. So we could definitely run, I think this year we had 38 camps or something like that. The previous year we had 46. And so we backed down because, again, we were being conservative with money, but we can definitely run camps. We could run more camps, so. If we're not being conservative with money.
Yeah.
That's why that's increased.
So that's all I have really as far as the budget goes. So if there's no questions or any more questions on the appropriations for 2026, then I'll just go over to the capital improvement plan.
Joe, you had highlighted stuff. Did you get your questions answered?
Yeah, it's on, like,
Yeah, Lisa, that slide I just slided.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
So.
I'll tell you in a few minutes.
Okay. I just know you said you had highlighted, I think it looked like travel was one of them, so I know we covered that.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can tell, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have one more.
So this one I only brought one copy of, but I did bring everybody a copy of the actual capital improvement list.
That's, yeah.
And I'll leave this with you guys, but the form is very basic and simple that DLGF gives you. It's,
Actually, I gave you guys
there you
this
go,
in your
okay.
packet.
there, okay. So you go.
But exactly
Might
like
look-
he said, all you really need is that blue part that he gave you.
Yes.
The rest of this is just a form that Corby and I will fill out.
Yeah.
But that, so you do have it, but you just really want that page.
Yeah, the important piece to it is the sheet that I gave you.
Yes.
But if you're interested just to see how it all pulls together, I did bring a copy, and it sounds like you do
I
have a
did
copy.
give them.
But really, all it's doing is it's taking so in our budget, we have the 12/31/2026 cash balance. So if you go back to the summary schedule we have, which is the first page of the packet we just went through.
So this,
Back to the.
Yeah,
If you
so
go back
that,
to
yeah,
this.
back to that.
what's in your hand?
Yeah, so column, I believe it's L.
So.
There you go.
Yeah, column L is your calculated cash as of 12/31/2026 on here. And so when we see the ending balance there, what that's telling us is we essentially need to come up with that amount of capital improvement projects so that we don't have to transfer any of our funds. Now you can see with the rainy day fund, just per the use of the budget, which again, it's also included in the capital improvement plan, but just use of the budget based on what we have is going to completely expend all of your rainy day fund. And so that's kind of where I was saying was if that happens, then now we don't have to worry about that fund. We can just worry about the general fund. At which point you see on your schedule, I just changed a couple things, but it should be right around 2.2 million. As your ending calculated cash in the general fund on 12/31/2026. So that's kind of our starting point, saying if we had zero capital improvements for 2027, 2028, 2020, you can go as far as you want in the future. But if you just don't have 2,200,000, or if you didn't have any capital improvements, you'd have to transfer 30% of that 2.2 million, which is a big number.
Yeah, it is.
So that's kind of what they're doing. And so it's important to us if we want to keep all of our money, is that we come up with $2.2 million in capital projects outside of the 2026 budget. So this sheet, that's what this sheet is.
Yeah.
This is a list of capital projects that gets us essentially to this $2.2 million amount that we want to get to, because again, we want to spend the money. We want to spend the money.
You see what sticks out like a sore thumb? Is the girls softball field.
Well, and again, this is something that, we need to come up with 2.2 million of projects outside of
Can
this.
you figure in your head that much money for, I mean, is it 1 acre, 10 acres, 20 acres? How do you come to
It's $1.2 million worth.
1.2 million?
Yeah. It's
I-
not,
I-
it-
yeah,
it's a number.
it's not an exact science.
No.
And if it's something that you guys as a board, you said, let's definitely have something in there, that's fine. You said,
Well,
I don't wanna spend-
That's kind of on the burner
right,
now.
if you're saying, that's a completely unrealistic number, I know for a fact we can get it done for $500,000. That's fine, I'll put $500,000, but then what I'll come to you guys and say is,
What else are we gonna put in?
right, we need to find $700,000 of other projects,
'Cause we're
or
mixing that in here.
Or you make the decision that you'll transfer 30% of the $700,000 that we don't have.
What I will tell you about girls softball is, we just had a meeting with the president of girls softball and our attorney. And so one thing you can do with capital improvement is
Acquisition of
Mhm.
property.
of land. Why can't I say that? It was in my head. So we can buy land basically, or buy softball fields, or however you want to do it, however you want to call it.
You know what, well,
It-
yeah,
And it can be, it would fall under the category of ballpark. So we're sticking within parks and recreation. It is purchasing land. That, again, was just a number because we do have that money. I know the president, and I haven't, again, this was all, can we do it? What's the cost look like? Obviously, you still have to put in bleachers and concession stand and restrooms and all the things. I know they're looking at a couple of different properties, and you're talking about a lot of acreage, because then you need a parking lot, you need multiple fields. So he does have some land within the township that is a possibility. He's gonna go talk to the deputy mayor.
now who's he?
John is his first name, the president of girls softball.
Okay, girl.
He's taken on this project. He's currently on the board. He's gonna step off of the board so that he can focus on this, building the softball fields, because currently girls don't have a place to play.
You're talking about more fields, more than one.
Yes, yeah, it would potentially be something large enough to bring in tournaments, which then would create revenue and all the things. But he would like to talk to the deputy mayor to see the city's position on softball fields, and are they willing to kick in any money? The deputy mayor does serve on the Noblesville Youth Alliance board, and so he's very in tune with girls softball and all of that. When it moves along more, we would have John come in and talk to everybody and see what it looks like.
Do we donate that land? Do we own that land? What's
No.
our responsibility?
So that's when the attorney would become involved. And I guess it would depend on how it looks. It's not, he said we would potentially purchase the land. But once it moves further along, then we would then call in the attorney to help us in an agreement with girls softball. Because what we don't want to happen is, okay, so it gets built and 10 years down the road, girls softball says, okay, we're done. Which I don't think would happen. That's a program that's been around, 40 years at least, if not longer. So that would be something the attorney would put into an agreement, is that it would have to continue to say softball. And then, of course, our name would be on there somewhere, whether it's named Township Fields whatever you want to call it. This is a partnership with us. If we're the major player, then we want the recognition for it. So there's a lot of moving steps, and the first step is who else can back it, who else is interested in backing it, and then of course the land. So
And the
it's,
liability. I think some of that would need to be ironed out a little bit more before we get so deep in that is logistics of, but I'm sure when he does his work, we'll know what we want to do unless this land is available now and we feel like we've got to do something immediately.
no, that's not where we're at.
Oh, good, okay.
No,
Because there's a
he
lot
has,
of,
no, he has some potential land options, but we're not yet there. He still would like to have, because again, you have to build all the other things.
yeah, and you gotta make sure you've got that, because it might take 5 or 10 years before that's ready to be.
Yes, or actually what their hope is maybe 2 years. But again, it's who else will come into it.
Yeah, what other players do we have?
Does the
Yeah.
school system do anything, or
They don't want to be involved in that.
It's not.
who's they, all of them, or just half of them, or
The
just
school-
superintendent?
Actually, he talked with the school. The school does not have any available land that is usable.
I think they
So
sold off
the
some of that
land-
that was.
The school is just not an option. They've already been down that road.
Who doesn't want to be in that business?
No, so, anyway, he's got a meeting with the deputy mayor. Again, it's money set aside, because we would rather use it for what we want to use it.
But it could be reallocated.
Yes,
Yes,
yes. We could have this on here, like, right, I will adjust this however we want to adjust it.
Or we can adjust it next year.
Correct, you know, if we just say, hey,
Exactly.
look, this is a good starting point. Now, there's a few things I can do if you guys just don't like that figure there. There are other things
No,
I can do.
well, it's.
It's obviously a
it's
large
something
one.
right now.
Yeah.
That's on the burner, and we talk about it.
Well, and that's the thing, we've always talked about these things, and these do look like big amounts of money, but now we have to actually act on these things.
Yeah, because we,
Right.
But there will be more information.
Oh,
That'll
yeah,
be
yeah,
our
yeah, yeah.
Focus right now, we're
It's-
saying, we're
What's
just
up?
say general.
we gotta
and
pass this.
Unless
next
that
month.
just gives you,
Correct,
Pure
yeah, we need to,
heartburn.
this has to be,
Right.
we
Yeah,
should
we gotta put
probably
it together
just
pretty well
keep it the
today.
way it is.
yeah, yes,
And
I mean,
again,
that would be ideal.
Yeah. And I tried to pick projects that we've talked about.
Yeah.
I tried to not throw in something that was just way out here in left field. I tried to pick projects that we've discussed, that people have come to us for money, so that it's not, so you're not blindsided by something.
And there's a history too.
There is a
By doing
history.
that, I think that's a good idea, rather than just pulling it out of the sky and then we end up in trouble
Too far
later
behind.
because we
Right.
can't,
Behind you.
Right.
can't
They
support
just-
that.
It gets taken away.
Yeah.
You don't even get up.
So-
No, I'm not, I'm not gonna.
No, they're- Yeah, it's, I agree, and it's a valid question.
There's enough.
Yeah.
Answers for the question, so.
Yeah, it's
And more,
obviously
and a
valid.
lot more to come.
Yeah,
Lot
for
more.
sure. For
Yes,
sure,
nothing,
it's-
nothing's in stone.
No.
Yeah, and the other thing too, with the way that this sheet is set up here, is I've only got it right now, the minimum requirement of 3 years. Something I could do is basically, I could make this go out 10 years. And each year I have certain quote, allowances that I basically am including in this. Well, if I go out another 10 years, that's gonna be another $500,000+. Now that'll be another $1 million of capital improvements that will have added to this budget. I can just reduce any of these figures, but it's kind of the top number here where you see total
Yeah.
4, 3, 6, 8, 900. That's kind of where we need to be as far as the whole, as the system of projects as a whole goes. So if as we're talking here, if we're good with this, I'll just leave this. But if you guys want to say, hey, look, I just don't like that large of a number sitting there.
And what are we gonna put it in?
Right, I can reduce it, but you see where I've got shelter improvements each year. I've got it for 27, 28, and 29. I can just extend this because this adds up everything we include here. And it doesn't tell you there's a maximum years of them
They
capital
don't have a
improvements.
cap on that?
They don't, I
Not
mean,
yet.
I
Not
wouldn't
yet.
go more than, I wouldn't go more than 10 years because I think at some point they're gonna go, well, I know what you're doing. Let's
I
say,
wouldn't
well,
go more than one.
then I can just do 5 and at least it'll get that figure down to maybe something less than $1 million. If that's just gonna sit better with everybody. I can definitely do that. But
So
yeah,
you
like,
could you could add more to
right,
shelter.
right, there's shelter
community.
improvements and cemetery improvements. I just keep those going
Yeah.
through 2030, whatever.
Well, and I will say, you're getting down, the 2 shelters we have, currently made some major improvements the past couple weeks on those. So again, yeah, we want to make sure we have stuff in case something would go wrong, but at some point, those improvements will be no longer needed.
Right,
kind of thing.
and
You know what I mean? Like,
And at
Every
which
time
point-
you can do it again, depending on how far you push that out.
well,
or
like a
a new
home.
shelter.
right.
I don't know,
yeah.
like, these are all the options, right? I can, get rid of something in here and just say, hey, we're gonna purchase a new shelter for, I'm just
Or
making,
maybe something
but-
opens up, we can
Sure.
shut a women's shelter, or something that we can help support.
We'll do it this way, though,
Yeah.
we're
Well,
really
right now,
concentrating on it.
yeah, this is, we're trying to, iron this out for right now.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
will say, the only thing I'll say about a new shelter, and we've tossed around that idea
Keep the responsibility in the people.
multiple times. I would have to, first of all, we have 4 properties. We just had an issue with our South 11th one where somebody was staying in it and we did not know. Luckily, Ryan Metzger was over there doing new flooring in there. So he had pushed all the furniture away. He came back in and saw a mattress down with a sheet on it. And he said, I think someone's there. Unfortunately, our cameras were also down because he had to unhook them because he was doing it. So we kept an eye on it. They had a cat staying there. Bottom line is we ended up making sure everything was locked up. We changed the codes. That person did not come back the next day. We took the cat to the Humane Society. We think everything is back to normal. But just being a block away, our eyes weren't on it. If Ryan hadn't been there, we may not have known for another week or so that somebody was there. So there's that issue. So we have 4 properties and sometimes that feels like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to hire another staff person. I have nowhere to put a staff person.
It is a lot of
It
responsibility.
is.
some renovations.
Well, honestly, the renovations cover Macy, the new person I hired. It doesn't even allow for another person to come in. So then there's that whole thing. And then honestly, it starts becoming mentally draining because we don't have options. Shauna just talked to me about a girl who's on work release. She works at Goodwill. And I said, then what? So we put her in our shelter. She can't live anywhere here working at Goodwill.
No, can't afford it. Well, a
You
lot of
can't
these
afford it.
jobs.
So unless she's willing to save money, move to Indianapolis, Kokomo, Anderson, wherever it's not Hamilton County, that's great. But if she wants to stay here and continue to work at Goodwill, we're knocking our head against that wall.
And that's a lot of jobs here.
And that's what we're running up against too. So just a lot of other issues come along with that. And so it's more like, and this is where we went. So here's a girls softball field. You currently have 500 to 600 girls in that program and they have nowhere to play. So do you look at it as here's softball fields for the entire community that we're bettering for potentially 600 girls. If you start bringing in tournaments, maybe that 600 then turns to 1,000 girls. And now you, as a township, have provided a space that the entire community can take advantage of.
Oh, I feel so bad.
And then you're also bringing in business.
You
to
guys are
downtown
making me
business.
look bad. I love girls.
No, it's everything.
It's just a big figure. It's
It
just a
is,
big
it's I
figure.
figure.
But, and
And
we can lower that number and I can get either with trustee or we can, you know, you guys can take this home and, you know,
Well,
I don't know how you guys are all allowed to
I don't
communicate,
think
but
it's
I think, I
somehow.
don't think it's
No,
right. I
Because we can
think
change it.
it's on there
when we
fine
need to.
right now. We
And
want
it
to do something.
serves
The
what we
girls
wanted
wanted
right now.
softball,
Joe,
and this is
Yes.
the figure. So,
Yeah, and
I say keep it like it is.
yeah.
Now.
thank you.
And we've tossed, like I said, we've gone over these and that
I'm
was
sure
how we
you
looked at
have.
it, was
You know,
it's a community.
this is no place to second
It's-
guess when
yeah.
it's a
Well,
fluid
you know,
river.
Township over
It's
the years
flowing.
been the Red Ribbon.
Right, like, yeah,
The-
you know,
the
we,
Blue Ribbon.
yeah, I mean, our focus has always been helping people, obviously,
Mhm.
but I also feel like we've done our part. We have 2 transitional houses. I have a dedicated caseworker now for strictly homeless people. We call every day to get to other shelters. We try and find transportation every day to get to Elwood, Indy, a bus station. Like, I feel like Noblesville is doing their part. It's time for Fishers, Carmel, Westfield, all of them to step up and do something. We've got a program with Kelly out at the jail. We take on people getting out of jail. We have a program with Amy at Lighthouse. Like, the list can go on and on and on of everything we started doing to help addiction issues or guys getting out of jail issues or just we've had 2 18-year-olds that are homeless. Like, we reach out, Carly reaches out to private landlords and says, will you take this person? Like, you know, so I feel like we've stepped up in what we need to do when it comes to that, which has taken a lot of convincing on, I think, all of our parts, but yeah, I think we truly have stepped up and tried to help. We can't solve that problem. And that's taken a lot to get through our heads, I think, is that we can't solve.
And
That
Hamilton
issue.
County makes it even harder.
Right. So, anyway, that's my rant. I'm done. That's my rant.
Thank you, Teresa.
Very good speech. I
We know that you're very compassionate.
know you are.
Let's stay focused.
Yeah, so,
So
okay,
you can get home by
Okay.
midnight.
yeah, that's right. So, again, if we're okay with this is just what we'll bring to the public hearing, then when we do that, at the same time, we have the budget public hearing. We can continue this conversation and we can update this at the public hearing. We don't have to publish this as a final document anywhere. The only thing we have to publish is basically something that says we will be holding a public hearing on the capital improvement plan.
For following up on that statement, can this board support personally the document we have so we can move forward and know that all kinds of good ideas, more information, everything that you're going to want and we need will come forth as we move forward to this.
And things can be
But for
changed
tonight,
if need be.
This serves the purpose.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this,
Do we
yeah,
need any motions or anything?
we don't need any motions. The only thing that I will mention, like I said, we can do whatever we want next meeting too. If you guys have updates and changes, we can definitely do that. Something that we won't be able to change in the next meeting, that would be the appropriations we went through. So, as long as you guys are good with that, that will be, these figures will be posted before our next meeting. So as long as you're good with that, just want to say, can't change those. We can change this, can't change this.
And just to clarify,
Well,
in September, you would be voting and adopting this
Right.
at the September board meeting. You would not be adopting this at the September meeting.
When do we have to adopt that one?
That'll be the
October.
October meeting.
That would be the October.
And I said you
So
can't
this-
change these. Yes, you can change these numbers. You can just go one direction.
Down.
Down.
Yes,
Yes.
right.
So,
And,
yeah.
and my point was that we can, I mean, you guys have a lot of history and you've had projects and you have things that are dear to your heart, but we have a long way to go. And tonight is not necessarily, we're not gonna solve a lot.
No, and
We are going to
changes
solve
through
what the
time.
state is requiring.
This
is
and
a
that's
starting
our
point.
Yes.
That's right. This is a starting
Absolutely.
point.
Yeah, we got a plan.
You
Yes.
got a plan, which
Yes.
is good.
And then again,
And if you like asphalt better than you like girls' baseball, then
Or other
we'll talk about
things we need.
we'll talk about it. But it's, but all
Are
the
we there?
questions.
Are we there?
Yeah.
We're there.
We're there.
Yeah.
Okay, correct.
Well, it's a valid point. It was a valid point, and
Sure it
all
was,
your
absolutely.
questions would be answered further down the line. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, just because it's in this plan, we
Not
could,
set in
we
stone.
could get to next year, we say, actually, we love that idea, but this is way more,
Yeah, maybe
more
we're gonna
important
change it
for,
here,
you know,
then
something
else has
happens.
come up,
Yeah,
you need
yeah, yeah.
part of that.
Yeah.
'Cause we got some
I
years.
do think we have to change our philosophy a little bit. We've always been very
Oh,
conservative.
very.
We've done a lot with a
Very.
little. Now, because of the state legislation and the way they want us to do business, we have to change that saving is not necessarily the goal any longer.
Saving
And
is losing.
that,
It's
you
hard.
know, I don't like spending the money either, but we have no choice.
I agree.
And it's what we're here to do.
Well,
It is, and
but
it's hard to rewire that thinking too, because I came from conservative people.
me too.
And it's very hard to rewire that. And that number was bigger because we were looking at purchasing land. That's why that was also so big.
Could I add just a comment to that? Because you've been so conservative, you've got a lot of money now to
Right.
do some pretty big things.
That make a
And
difference.
you're going to use that money to complete whatever project you guys, but it's my understanding you're starting to do the renovation, right?
Yes,
Right.
yeah.
And that's been budgeted in your
Yes.
2026, so.
And we're doing some pretty big projects too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
But,
So,
you know,
I think you're looking really, really nice that you've got the money now to
Right. We do
carry
have it.
forward, yeah.
That's the
Just
bigger
kind of
point. We
questions.
have the money to make a difference
Mhm.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere we
Several
have
and
somewhere.
there's lots of area that we can do that.
Yeah, for sure. So.
Anything else, Corbett?
That's all I have.
Okay.
All right.
And you survived.
Thank you.
That's right, that's right.
Well,
I was
Well,
actually proud
that's-
of us in
yeah.
doing this.
Yeah,
because-
I think it's a really good starting
Yeah.
point. Like I said, I knew, you know, obviously I mean, I didn't even know how the calculation was ultimately gonna work until you got the template and you finally say, okay, that's it, verbatim, that was what they were saying. Okay, that's
Right.
very interesting. Okay, what else are we gonna be held? So everybody was kind of forced to do this quickly, even though it's
Mm.
technically it has been a requirement for like 3 or 4 years. They just didn't enforce it more or less.
I didn't know it was a requirement.
Yeah, we did. We had to do it maybe back in 21 or so. I want to
don't
say.
tell them, but it's go forward.
Well. So there was nothing. It basically just said you had to have one. So they made everybody get one. It didn't say you had to renew it every year.
Oh,
So technically there was one that every township had to do back in 21 or whatever. There were some townships that were exempt though.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what the reason.
$300,000.
Is that what it
I
was?
think it
Yeah,
was,
which
yeah.
probably wasn't you guys, but
They were
but
forced
yeah,
to
yeah.
do something and spend it.
Yeah.
They were forced to come up with something with a plan
Okay.
and spend it.
there we go.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
Well, let us just say, this doesn't appear out of the thin air. It takes lots of conversations.
Right.
lots of
We can
hard work.
answer, we have answers to everything that's in here,
And
right? If
we
somebody says,
appreciate
how'd you
that.
come up with that number? I'd be willing to say, well, to be honest, we didn't have a lot of time, it's an estimate. You know, that's,
I think
Well,
we
yeah,
give
you
our
can do
the
that.
best.
How true is that one?
right, I mean,
And
yeah.
and I don't think you said it, but we, or not we, but mainly Corby, we added everything, and so we now have zero that we would have to put into a road fund.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
that's what-
So we,
And
all
I'm
of
sure
this-
the DLGF
yes.
won't want people to do that as quote a goal,
right,
but it's at the same time, that's what everybody's gonna
Well,
do.
And it is our money, and I don't know
I
if they
agree with
inject as much as the state does that wants our money.
Yeah, I don't,
We, LGF,
yeah,
they're doing what they're told they have. to do.
right, but I have a feeling they're also being directed by some of the
Oh,
state
that's what I mean, they
legislators.
are.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, they got a
yeah,
directive.
Yeah,
It's not their idea, but now it is
Yeah.
their idea.
so,
And hopefully it's all better in the end, because
Yes.
it may push us to do some things we've been holding back
Well,
on.
sure. Right.
And everything we do is for our community, and
Yeah.
I think we're on the right track. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you
we
guys.
appreciate you.
All right.
all right.
Now, remind us, will we see you at the next
Yes,
meeting?
yeah, I'll be here for the next one, and then the October meeting, I can be here. I think sometimes I've been able to be here and I'll come, but,
Mhm.
Okay, so we'll see you.
yeah, being at the adoption meeting is, in my opinion, is not as important as the public hearing. Just because if somebody does show up, which I don't think anybody ever has, but if they do show up, I'll be there to answer any questions.
So that'll be September.
That'll be
the
the
public
September meeting, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Isn't that we publish
So,
that?
and that is
We have
open to the
post
public.
it at 10 days
Yes,
before.
and I'll-
Yeah,
I'll
I will on
advertise.
Gateway, we'll
I'll
have to get that
It'll be
notice submitted
advertised
10 days
and,
before. And then we'll also this year have something in the paper for the Capitol.
I think we're
Is that 10 days
Also
before?
10 days.
They went to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
bathroom.
but that has to be,
I have a couple other things.
whereas
I know you
whereas
do.
the
Yeah.
budget stuff is just online.
Online,
Yeah,
okay. But you're doing all of those, don't you?
yeah, I got that too.
You're not having vacation like last year during that 10 days?
No, I am going on a bachelor party.
Oh, there,
Yeah.
I'm gonna remind you, you better do this. We don't push it back.
Bachelor party. And you did that last year too, though.
You
Or
did
you
it.
went
What
to a
was it?
wedding.
I had a
think you went to
wedding in, like,
Yeah.
that was December, was it October? I can't remember now, but yeah, I did have
You know
a,
what, maybe it was December because I
You said
You
you're
were gone.
probably saying it 10 days before and then you move.
oh,
texting you.
yeah, we had to do an additional appropriation maybe or something late last
Something,
year.
Yeah,
And I could have been,
You
yeah,
were-
I had a friend get married in Mexico last year. That was fun.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that was in December.
You're very
though.
popular.
it is.
To be honest, I'm kind of over all of these weddings. and bachelor parties. Is there any more?
I was gonna say, are you
I mean, like,
past
I'm
that
old
in your
enough now to
age?
where, like,
Yeah.
it should be slowing down.
Kind of rare, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think we can get out of here.
Yeah, I just have, once Peggy's back, I only have two
Okay.
Peggy's, and it can be very quick.
I booked
Yeah.
I booked a little clothes tonight, so
Yeah,
I've got
Me
a
too.
guest coming over.
we can definitely,
No, I want to hear the next item.
Well, if anything comes up
Oh, yeah.
before September, so like I said, we've got to get the budget posted. Just
yes,
talking
I
to Beverly about this by September 7th online.
okay,
Well, I call it September 6th. We'll get the gateway forms submitted. But also on September 6th or before, we have to have in the paper
yes.
the notice for the capital improvement plan.
And they, ITA sent out a template for that. Yeah. so
Yes, I already typed one up for you.
Okay.
I can send it
Okay.
to you.
Nope, I
If
just
you wanna-
printed it off in case,
Yeah.
we needed it, so.
Okay.
If you wanna send it, I will get it.
Yeah.
I will get it.
So as far as budget changes go, if you guys do have something, get with Teresa and make sure we know that before 6th. So that we know, hey, if we want to just bump up some other number, because we can always go down, can't go up.
Okay.
And we'll throw that back to you also, if you find something.
Yes, I will.
That you could advise us on, that would be good too.
Perfect, I'll do.
Okay, Thank you very much.
Yep.
See you in September.
All right.
See you. Okay, item number 3, Teresa has an update on the building renovation.
Yes. So Ryan has gotten in touch with Darren Peterson. So on this building, we're basically moving along better now. Monday, Ryan is going to meet with Darren Peterson and talk engineers and that kind of thing. So we should be more set on moving forward, basically.
When you say talk engineers, in what perspective?
So Darren didn't have a mechanical, he didn't have our electric, our plumbing people. So Ryan is getting with him because one of the estimates that came back was super low. And it was because he didn't include the electrical, plumbing, mechanical. They call it MEPs. And so that estimate came back at like 300,000. And Ryan's like, "Ooh, that's not right. That $1 million estimate is more correct when you throw in plumbing, electrical, and mechanical."
But so you're expecting the person that did the drawings to come up with this for us, right?
Yeah. So Darren, yes. So Ryan and Darren are now talking and getting the plans better together. And then I'm waiting on the attorney to get back with me on how we need to bid this. Like, what's the
Who's writing the
dates?
specs?
Darren is already doing that with contractors or with Ryan. Ryan has basically taken this over, Ryan Metzger. And he is now getting with Darren to make sure everything is done correctly. So that's where
You know, who's the running?
Shauna's husband.
Yeah,
Who's also done the renovations on the 2 shelters. So he had come in, he was looking at the plans because he had worked on the federal government side of things in building. Brian's been in the construction business forever. And so he worked for the federal government in doing building projects. So he looked at the plans and was like, "Yeah, I don't think this is correct." So the last meeting, I had said I basically hired him to kind of take over and make sure things get done correctly. So he is now moving that process along.
I have concerns about the specs. If he came back and left out these things already, those specs are gonna be a lot of what people bid on, because we gotta put it out for bid.
Right, so what would go out for bid would be that $1 million estimate. As Ryan and I were looking at it, and Darren, we've had the conversations and said that 1 million to 1.5 should cover what's needed.
It should cover it, but when you
Yes.
put your specs out, you're not giving them parameters of price. You're giving them, this is what we want, and you list what you want and how it's the layout and all
Right.
that. They come back with their price, whether you know what you believe your budget is, but it doesn't mean that will come back that way. It
No,
should.
if it's over budget, we don't go with them. Like,
Well,
so,
but Darren, and he was responsible for getting all those specs.
yeah,
To getting all the specs
Yeah.
and all.
He's-
specs and
yes.
He's
specs.
gotta line up
But
every
you can't-
item there,
right.
In here.
because there's,
Unless
No,
they
they-
do something else.
No, they are doing it. I have full faith that Ryan and Darren are doing what's proper now. Ryan sent out an email and said, "You're missing these things." Darren said, "Yes, I will get on that." And Monday they were supposed to have a meeting. So, yeah.
Now, as I understand it, Darren has his list of possible contractors that he
Yes.
wants to send to, is that correct?
That's the way I understand it.
And then we have any that have come forward for us.
Right, which is why it would go out to bid. And I can also set that bid process and make you guys aware of when it goes out to bid and
because when it
come
goes,
back.
Is you kept track of Ben,
when it goes out to bid, 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 when it goes out to
The guy that
Yes.
came and looked, if we can
Yes.
keep him on the list, that would be
Yes, I
good,
will keep
because
him in
I don't
the
know if
loop
he's
as-
touched base with you, but he also knows you're missing some stuff and is
Yes.
waiting for that.
Yes, I do have his card and I can keep him in the loop and on the
That
list.
would be good.
But that doesn't necessarily mean because he's writing the specs and that he's going to get the job, because whoever gets the job is gonna have their own people.
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's just giving you a list of his people or who he wants?
he's not giving any kind of list. There, yeah, he has contractors he works with.
Right,
And he will say, here's the people I recommend. It still has to go out to bid. Those people will get the plans, they can bid on it.
mhm,
We can keep Ben in the
It's just a
loop.
bid with you.
It's a bid, yeah.
Right.
And then when those bids come back, I think we have to take 3 bids. And so then whatever bid we pick is who did the job.
right, but then they would have their own, could have their own people.
Yeah, so somebody like Ryan, let's just say Ryan's doing it. So then he would get a subcontractor to come in and do the electric. He would get a subcontractor to come do the plumbing. All of that, all of those contractors and those prices would be in that one bid.
Right, and then come out of
Yes.
his budget,
Yes.
yes. Mhm. Yeah.
So that's, yeah, you're picking a general contractor. They then would pick all the bidding people.
Right.
Or all the
Yeah, you're gonna,
subcontractor people.
mhm.
Yes.
And then isn't that how the architectural fee will be determined
Yes.
based on the final bid?
Yes.
Mhm.
So it's all,
And then
yes.
some of them will give you what their percentage is on whatever that's gonna be. Something kind of deal. So,
Yeah, we actually, Darren finally sent me a contract, that Ryan and I went over and we have that. So that has his fees in there as well, which was then also included in that 1 to 1.5 million.
What would it be?
I'd have to go back and look.
what
But
percentage?
it's- You know, I did
Sometimes they
not
give
bring
you
my
that,
building,
but,
I
yeah.
didn't bring my building file, but they weren't out of line with anything.
And then this gets advertised and
It has to
anybody walks in the door that
Right.
has any kind of credentials.
Yep,
also
exactly.
count on it. So it should
Right.
be, I would think, well.
Yeah.
Well,
And
noticed
nowadays,
and we should
publicized.
have a lot of activity.
Yeah, because at the
Yeah.
highway, we had to do it. We had some problems once in a while, so I'm just trying to keep you from.
No,
going down some
no, I
roads
think,
that
yeah,
we
and having
and I
Ryan,
know you have background in
Yeah.
that.
having
Yeah.
Ryan involved, especially
that's
since
good.
he's done the federal side, he can basically
Yeah, we
take
were
over that.
getting the attention we
Yeah.
deserve.
Yeah.
This is good.
So,
When they have the meeting on Monday, is that gonna finish up pretty much everything we need and we can?
that is my hope. I'm still waiting on the attorney to get back to me, who is, probably busy right now working on these capital improvement things.
Who's our attorney?
Jeff Bellamy.
What's he gonna give us?
The specific bid rules that I have to follow. I tried to ask State Board of Accounts, they referred me to the attorney, which is typical. And then just really quick, well, actually I have 2 more things really quick. This is an example of what we can do with the front of the building. If Joe, do you want to?
I'll do it.
Oh, thanks.
So we decided to not pursue the facade grant and do what we want, because we have the money to do it. And so with that, we can change the front to how we want it to look. This is just an example, going with that roof like this. And then the sides would still be flat, but then it would create like a porch thing off here to the sides and give it just a
Some dimension.
yeah, just give it a different look.
And then this
basically.
is,
That's just the sides that kind of create a
what's the
porch.
material?
That I don't know.
Don't
It
know.
looks like she.
Yeah, it would-
I can't see the line.
And the sign is just there for reference.
Right.
This picture is basically just saying we're gonna go with a.
We're gonna have something in the front.
Yeah,
Bigger
and not,
pillars,
right, not that flat.
improve this.
We'll improve the sidewalk and the entrance and the doors.
We're, the sign person that came and looked, he's very good, but we're having trouble. He's into some other projects or something. Dane has been calling him. I will check again and see. But something we might want to consider, and we'll talk to our sign people, but you've got to be right in front of this building in your car
Oh,
to
yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
I thought maybe a blade sign where they come out and that you'd have two sides and it would say, so if you're driving either direction, you would
You
see
would see it.
the sign.
Well, and
You talked about that last time, and I looked that up on some buildings downtown, and you're right, that they really look much better when you come out like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
Not more
do.
expensive, but
they look nice.
Mm-hmm.
And if the side of the building will be staying flat, we could potentially add a sign there and a sign on the front with that 3D look or whatever.
Coming from the south, what would they see?
Well,
They're not
that's
gonna
just-
see anything.
No, you're not gonna see it, but that's just kind of what it is. Yeah.
Actually,
can't
you
do
could
also-
hang the blade sign from up here, yeah, and
Yeah.
that would be higher,
Yeah.
not hanging.
I was gonna
down.
say, we can't have it hang down if it's gonna do something with the sidewalk. Yeah. But
So
yeah, we
that's-
could.
That's another thing, which would look, and we could have more too, I mean, whatever we
Right,
want.
yeah.
It's-
Yeah,
Very good.
but that's
I
just
love it.
basically the concept that we made a final decision on. Yeah, just to.
And it's gonna have new doors,
Right, it'll still have new doors.
we're gonna have,
different
we're gonna do,
window.
a grid for the windows, right?
Yeah, and like a grid for the
Which,
door.
like, it's in the front of the
Yeah.
building here.
Yeah.
I would even suggest we get even bigger pillars.
I wondered about that too.
Well, we have a picture of the pillars that we wanted to do. Again, this was just more, here's the roof.
Okay.
We're not gonna-
focusing on this right
Yeah,
now.
we're
'cause I thought
focusing
they-
on that.
I
We're,
agree.
we're not
Thought they
keeping it
needed more
flat
beefy.
is
Weren't we
basically,
talking about 10 for a while?
we were, yeah.
So that might be.
And again,
kinda
that
cool.
might be something that we'll have to get Ryan's.
Okay, great.
So, yeah. And then
And
the
the inside is pretty much
decided on,
too.
yeah, which is,
Whatever we saw the other day.
Yeah.
Pretty
The
much
lights.
it.
yeah, the raising
think
the
we had-
roof,
yeah.
that kind of thing, making it more modern. The last thing, the ITA conference is September 22nd through the 24th. Tuesday, the 23rd is the classes. So if you guys want to go home, look at your calendars, I need to get us signed up.
Do you have the program,
Say that again, Tuesday. 20.
Tuesday, the 23rd is the class day. They do not have a schedule of classes. It never comes out until,
And where is it going to be?
it'll be out at Embassy Suites
in
out at
Hamilton Centers?
Hamilton Town Center. But I need to get us signed up. I mean, I could go, if you let me know by the end of the week, if you can do that or not. I need to get us.
That's September.
September.
Yeah.
I need to get us signed up to get the early bird pricing.
Mhm.
So if you want to check your calendars, I know they're gonna have new classes. I don't know what the schedule is. I looked this
They're only gonna run
afternoon.
those the one day.
So,
And then they're gonna go to Concord again this time.
yes, yes.
And will that be on the Tuesday or?
That is Monday. We just talked about that. That is Monday evening, from 6.
Oh, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, same thing. It's from 6 to
A
10
little
p.m. It was
Hot air balloons, they did that right.
You go.
Last time they went.
Come on.
city barbecue. It was good then.
We had fun.
You got to take a balloon ride.
Yep, you guys did that, I got the picture of you
Yeah.
guys doing that.
So yes, that is.
I think I can do that, but I'll double check and call you no matter what.
Yeah, just either call or text.
Yeah.
But just let me know.
Yeah, I'll text you.
That way I'm not.
Is there any other business?
Hanging.
Um,
No, I think
Is there a
that's
motion to adjourn?
No, make a motion.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the time is 4:45.
Oh, my goodness. Thanks. Oh, my goodness.
Okay, I end.
I gotta be somewhere at 5.
Yeah,
Okay.
that seems to be the
So
key.
that-
Yes.
People have somewhere to.
I got one going